America didn't wake up today to a single scandal. It woke up to a pattern. And if you've been feeling like the country is stuck in an endless loop of outrage, confusion, and exhaustion, you're not imagining it. What looks like chaos is often a governing style, a style that runs on spectacle, feeds on attention, and turns the public's daily stress into political fuel. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to show you the one incentive that links everything you've seen this week. The social media bursts, the fight over symbols, the claims about a great economy, the public health alarms, the transparency wars, even the basic question of clean water. Different headlines, same mechanism, same cost. Here's the key idea, stated simply. If political power can control what you look at, it can control what you stop looking at. And when the country stops looking at real costs, the costs don't disappear. They just move into your life, into your bills, into your health, into your local community, into that quiet feeling that the economy is fine for someone, somewhere, but not for you. Let's start with a small detail that reveals a big system. A public figure posts an image meant to provoke anger about wind power. The image is wrong. It's misattributed. It's the kind of thing that gets debunked quickly. The easy takeaway is, he lied, or he posted nonsense. But the deeper takeaway is more important. It forces everyone into the same trap. Instead of debating energy policy like adults, we debate identity. Instead of asking what lowers prices, improves reliability, and strengthens long-term competitiveness, we argue over tribes. And that shift is not accidental, it's useful. Because energy is complicated. It involves grids, permitting, storage, natural gas, nuclear, transmission lines, investment cycles, and long-term planning. Spectacle is simple. Spectacle gives you a villain, a punchline, and a side to pick. And once politics becomes side-picking, policy becomes punishment. That's why misinformation in politics isn't only a moral problem. It's a competence signal. It tells the public that communication is no longer about governing. It's about engagement, about keeping the audience emotionally activated, because activated audiences are easier to mobilize and harder to persuade. Now connect that to the next controversy, the fight over national symbols and cultural institutions. When a leader treats a public civic space like personal property, it isn't just vanity. It's a message about ownership. It says, this isn't shared anymore. This belongs to my side. And when shared symbols stop being shared, the country loses a quiet form of stability that most people don't think about until it's gone. In a healthy republic, you can hate the other party and still accept that certain institutions belong to the nation, not to a faction. The moment those institutions become trophies, everything becomes a battlefield. Not just elections, schools, museums, libraries, science agencies, courts, local public works, even the language the nation uses to describe itself. Here's what often gets missed in the shouting match. The cost of politicizing institutions isn't only cultural, it's economic, it's organizational, it's reputational. Artists cancel shows, boards fracture, sponsors retreat, legal threats fly. It becomes harder to run the institution for the public and easier to run it as a symbol. And symbols don't deliver services. Symbols don't lower costs. Symbols don't keep the lights on. Symbols don't keep people healthy. This is where the story becomes less about one person and more about the structure that rewards the behavior. We are no longer in an era where the goal is persuasion. We are in an era where the goal is retention. Keep the base watching, keep the opposition raging, keep the undecided exhausted. And that's not just a media problem. That's an incentive problem that now shapes governance itself. Here's what that loop looks like in real time. A provocation hits. The media amplifies it. The opposing side responds with outrage. The base responds with loyalty. The country gets sorted into camps again. Then everyone gets tired, and the next provocation arrives right on schedule. If this feels familiar, that's because it's a model. And models don't require popularity, they require intensity. This is why approval ratings matter, but not in the way most people think. A leader can have low approval and still maintain power through attention dominance, party discipline, institutional leverage, and a base that treats politics like identity protection. In that environment, calls of "the polls are rigged" aren't just ego. They serve a strategic purpose: delegitimize measurement itself. Because when measurement is illegitimate, accountability is impossible. If every poll, every report, every institution is fake, then reality becomes partisan. And when reality becomes partisan, the public loses the ability to coordinate around shared problems. Now we get to the part of this week's story that is not symbolic at all: public health. Measles is not a talking point. It's a test of whether a modern society can still do basic coordination. The virus doesn't care about your party. It doesn't care about your ideology. It cares about vaccination coverage, community clusters, school policy, public trust, and speed of response. When a country becomes polarized about science, the damage is not abstract. It shows up in the most personal way possible: exposure notices, outbreaks, hospital strain, anxious parents, and children paying the price for adult politics. And here's the nuance the media often skips. This is not just about one group being anti-vax. It's about the collapse of trust across institutions. If people don't trust public health messaging, even accurate guidance becomes fragile. If people see every policy as partisan, cooperation becomes optional. And once cooperation becomes optional, the baseline stability of daily life starts eroding. Stability is the foundation of prosperity. You can have a strong stock market and a weak society at the same time. You can have impressive national numbers while families feel like they're living in a tighter, riskier, more expensive reality. That is exactly what millions of Americans mean when they say the economy looks strong, but life feels weaker. Because most people don't experience the economy through speeches. They experience it through friction. The friction of more expensive groceries even when inflation is down. The friction of rent that doesn't match paychecks. The friction of insurance that rises while coverage shrinks. The friction of an energy bill that jumps and never quite comes back down. The friction of basic services feeling slower, messier, and less reliable. And that friction is political oxygen. Because when people feel squeezed, they want a simple explanation and a simple enemy. Spectacle supplies both. Now look at the transparency wars, especially in the files era. A public demand exists. Accountability for elites matters. People are right to be angry about systems that protect the powerful. People are right to want sunlight. But transparency has a dark side in a hyper-polarized age. It can become a permanent suspicion engine. If documents are released slowly, it's proof of a cover-up. If released quickly, it's reckless and can harm victims. If names appear, it's proof of guilt. If names don't, it's proof of deeper conspiracy. In that environment, transparency doesn't restore trust. It can inflame distrust forever. And the most important question isn't only what's in the files. The question is, who controls the timing, the framing, and the interpretation? Because in the engagement era, the meaning of information is often less powerful than the emotional reaction it generates. This is how political power can turn sunlight into theater. Now we bring it back down to the ground, to public goods, to the stuff that actually keeps people alive and communities functioning. Clean water is not glamorous. It does not go viral. It does not trend. But it is one of the clearest tests of whether a government still serves the public in a practical way. When a clean water infrastructure project becomes a partisan weapon, the message to citizens is chilling. Even your basics can become collateral. Even a project that improves health and reduces long-term costs can be sacrificed to prove a point, punish a rival, or energize a base. And that's the deeper connection between these stories. It's not that they are all equally scandalous. It's that they all pull the public away from long-term governance and into short-term emotional management. That's why the biggest mistake in political analysis is treating this as a personality story. Yes, personality matters. A leader's temperament, habits, and communication style matter. But the more important question is what the system rewards. If the system rewards spectacle, you will get spectacle again and again, no matter who occupies the office. If the system rewards institutional competence, truth testing, and public goods, you can actually rebuild a society where daily life feels stable again. So how do we talk about this in a way that is neutral, but not naive? Neutrality does not mean pretending all sides are identical. Neutrality means describing incentives honestly and tracing consequences without turning analysis into a jersey. Here's the honest picture. There is a growing strategy in American politics that treats attention as currency and exhaustion as a tool. It floods the zone with conflict, so the public can't hold sustained focus on any single problem long enough to demand real solutions. That strategy pairs perfectly with a society where the economy is increasingly split between those who benefit from asset inflation and financial strength, and those who live paycheck to paycheck under rising fixed costs. It also pairs perfectly with an information environment where outrage is rewarded and nuance is punished. And that is why so many Americans feel weaker, not because they are imagining it, because the system has become less capable of delivering stability, even when it claims success. So what's the exit? It starts with one simple habit. The next time a viral post detonates the news cycle, ask 4 questions. Does this story change my life materially, or is it designed to keep me emotionally engaged? What problem does this story keep me from focusing on? Does it degrade trust in a necessary institution that my community depends on? Who benefits from my attention right now? If more citizens ask those questions, spectacle loses power. Because spectacle depends on reflex. It depends on the automatic reaction. It depends on the feeling that you must respond, must rage, must repost, must pick a side right now. And once you slow that reflex down, you regain something very rare in American politics today: attention that belongs to you. That's how you start forcing the system back toward governance, not by pretending controversies don't matter, but by refusing to let the controversies steal oxygen from the real costs. The costs that show up in public health, clean water, affordable energy, stable schools, functional institutions, and a basic sense that the future is not rigged against you. Because ultimately, the question isn't whether America can survive another viral scandal. America can survive scandals. The question is whether America can survive a governing model that turns scandal into routine, turns public goods into collateral, and turns reality itself into a partisan weapon. Pick one. What do you think is the bigger threat to the United States right now? A single political figure's behavior, or the incentive system that monetizes spectacle and trains institutions to follow it? Seeing America and power more clearly.